Most metropolitans and cosmopolitans have a small set of personal, medical, or professional modifications, augmentations, and enhancements, such as tailored panacea cells for warding off disease, subdermal oral netting with linked omnicasters for communicating, hyperspectral ocular modifications to enhance their vision, embedded pay chits, basic redundancy modifications, cortical shielding, and so on. These are all minimally invasive, inconspicuous modifications. Most colonists also have the same set of modifications, but more specialized to deal with the harsher environments that they frequently faced. While rare, some people in diasporan and core worlds have clearly visible and inorganic body modifications, augmentations, or prosthetics. These are usually for either fashion aesthetic, or to make a political statement. Heavily modified people, however, tend to be survivors of terrible accidents or attacks, people with chronic or genetic conditions that significantly impact their quality of life, or people who work in specialized fields that are sometimes opted or encouraged to undergo extensive modifications to perform their duties. For the most part, subdermal and internal augmentations are small enough to not be overly taxing on the human bodies, but the more extensive someone's modifications are, the more difficult it is for their bodies to manage with significant chemical, internal, or external support. Union's Utopia pillars mandate that modifications or prosthetics are wholly owned by the user, even when licensed from a private entity, and it must be able to function as intended and at full capacity without support from its fabricator. Even with the most extensive modifications, some environments remain too hostile for long-term human life. Due to many factors such as physical stress, radiation transferring from inorganic to organic matter, and energy limitations, it is not yet possible for a person to modify themselves for sustained exposure to the vacuum of space. It is possible to at least extend the time a person could survive in a hard vacuum, but these biological modifications are usually only found on cosmopolitans, naval personnel, and others that might face a considerable risk of hard vacuum exposure. Aesthetic biomodifications, however, are quite common. On core worlds, light aesthetic biomods can be obtained everywhere from expensive private clinics to street-side kiosks. These can include changes to skin color tint, patterning, eye color, hair color, piercings, scarring, feathering, tattoos, hair, fur, and so on. Heavy biomods like secondary limbs, tails, changes to digits are rare, and usually found in countercultural cliques, prompting people to take notice even on core worlds. So yes, cat girls, they absolutely exist in Lancer. Your argument is invalid. Some subcultures are also interested in extensive augmentation, also called Androidism, which refers to people with at least 90% of their body converted to synthetic parts, from transhumanist movements and disability rights groups to android cults and nihilist machine adherents. Discourse and practices vary wildly in these communities, and common dialogue around androidism is lacking outside of technical, academic, medical, and other specialist settings. In core worlds and cosmopolitan communities, these extensive augmentations are uncommon but not stigmatized. Within the diasporan, opinions may vary. Related to the topic of androidism is the question of decorporealization, or Decorp, the ability to separate a mind from its physical form, and transport it to a different space, form, or unit without breaking its subjective continuity. Currently, Decorp is impossible to union with its current technology. First contact accords also prohibit any research into the subject. But nonetheless, it is a topic of interest to many research and paracausal theorists. Both USB and Harrison Armory's think tank are known to test the very edges of what the FCA allows, but the two organizations are bound by a tight, closed, information sharing agreement. Union has ultimate regulatory power over the Armory's exploration in this field. Outside of this study, private research of Decorp is outlawed, but UND and USB intelligence have determined that it is highly likely for the Armory, Horus, and SSC to conduct off-the-book research and development into this field. Even in the past, several individual worlds have attempted to achieve some level of post-human experience, like Sumyon and Neo-Celestine. But that's for true Decorp. False Decorp is fairly common and widely used. In fact, we already talk about it. The homunculi are the result of the false Decorp. While they act like a person, they are not conscious, merely just a finely tuned simulations, a pile of personalities and memories of a person long gone. Hello there, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell button. If you really want to support my channel, you could visit my Patreon page, or buy me some coffee, links in the description. Anyway, have a nice day.